once and you'll never be the same. There, Uri and Tyler, and they're here to entertain. It's the Bantam Boys podcast with Uri and Tyler. Yeah, we're here. We're doing it.
We're doing it.
Yeah, we are doing it.
Should we start doing podcasts with improv games at the beginning every time?
We should start off with Zip Zap Zop.
Yeah.
Is that a real game?
Yeah, it's a real game.
What is Zip Zap Zop?
Oh, you point at someone, you go zip, and they point at someone else, and they go zap, and that person points at another person, and they go zop.
What's the point? This sounds like there's no improv.
It's to get people to begin community. You're not supposed to do it during an improv show.
It's a warm up.
It's a warm up. It's like stretching.
I just go. That was possibly horrible audio. I just realized I just did that into a microphone. That might have sounded disgusting.
Hey, whenever I'm warming up for a podcast, I just go.
Tyler just put the microphone in his ass. For the listener, that was a very brief but effective anal penetration.
Penetration.
I said that weird.
You know, in Italy it's called penetration. Should we start over?
No.
We can't start with a dumb pasta joke.
I think it's too late for that.
It's too late
for that, man. You cooked your rigatoni. Now you got to eat it.
Oh no! I hope it's al dente.
You know what al dente means?
It's ready to eat.
That is, al means ready and dente means devour.
Is that what it means?
No, it means to the teeth. Because al dente pasta is supposed to stick to your teeth. Al dente. Dente like dentistry.
Oh.
Yeah.
I wish more American foods that are in English were described by how they stick to your teeth or not.
You know what?
How would you like your burger cooked? Oh, I want that shit sticking to my teeth.
You know what feels weird in the mouth?
I think of a lot of things.
You know that feeling when you eat an unripe banana, like an underripe banana?
I do.
And it makes your mouth just kind of dry and sandpapery, and
Yeah.
it's uncomfortable, and it sticks like that. You can't just drink water to make it go away.
No, you have to sit with your mouth open to the sun for a couple of days while the banana ripens.
Yeah, you have to
within you.
You have to tan. You have to
tan.
You have to tan your gums. Is the roof of your mouth gums? It's not.
No, gums are the chewy part. You know, the chewy part.
Yeah, the chewy part of your mouth.
The part that's so chewy.
So you're gonna ask me how my weekend was, or
Yo,
what?
dude, how was your weekend?
What's
Did you go to the
going on?
dentist? Why are we talking about teeth so much?
I had a bit of a sports-related kind of masculinity occurrence, a little toxic masculinity incident happened Friday. You want to hear about this?
Yeah, what happened? I'm terrified.
So
anyways, this new kid showed up to my gym and we killed him.
I was dosing testosterone. Me and my three buddies, we were shooting it directly into each other's cock veins. What?
Oh, sorry. The fan?
Yeah, what?
That affect the audio? Oh, sick.
Yeah, you might hear. Listener, let us know if you hear a little bit of a fan going in the background. It gets pretty hot in here, so we decided to. We also needed it there so that Tyler could interrupt my story during podcast time. We started the last podcast. He talked about his diarrhea for straight 8 minutes. We did 8 minutes on vomit and diarrhea.
And you know what the difference between my story and your story? Mine is not toxically masculine at all.
No, yours was actually little. Could have used
my diarrhea story passed the Bechdel test.
It could have used some. You could have handled that diarrhea like a man. Not tell anybody. Man, when we get food poisoning, we don't complain about it. We just deal with it.
just wither.
We just die. We
just have a bad time.
We don't sip on ginger ale and crackers. We just decide that if God has decided for us that that's our time, we'll go nobly into the night.
Hey, how's your weekend?
All right. So we went to play pool.
Yeah.
And we're at this bar that has one pool table right near the front.
Right.
And when we get there, nobody's playing, but there's a group of people right next to it who are it's a big group, mixed company. They're drunk. They look pretty douchey.
Okay.
They're like, imagine like classic business school douchebags.
Yeah.
But they're not like super rich. They're just kind of, they look a little douchey.
Yeah.
And they're drunk. And we start playing pool. And we need them to move to me. They're like taking up a lot of the table. And so I need this guy to just watch out while I take a shot in pool.
Yeah.
And he's being kind of a dick about it.
Oh,
and
man.
his friend is like, "Oh, dude," I'm like trying to get his hand, like, "Excuse me, man, excuse me." And his friend's like, "Dude, he just had a concussion." Tells me again, he just had a concussion. This guy just had a concussion, I guess. And then I go in, I had to ask a lady that was there to like, "Oh, excuse me, sorry." And he's this drunk jackass. He says to me, he's like, "Oh, you're nicer to the lady than you are to me, huh? What happened to equal rights?" Some shit like that. Yeah.
Did you turn to him and go, "You had a concussion"? You had a concussion.
Yeah, that's exactly. I escalate the situation. No, but get this.
Yeah.
I make the shot, right?
Ooh.
And then right afterwards, he looks at me, eye contact. He's like mean mugging me. And he goes, "Nice shot, man. Nice pool playing. Yeah. Yeah, nice shot." And he's like, he's a little pissed. And I don't escalate, but I also don't back down. I looked him in the eye and I was like, "All right, thanks, buddy." I was like, it was a classic thing where we were both saying nice stuff with the subtext.
With like a really angry undertone.
The subtext was super rude. Like he was like mad, and I was just like, "All right, calm down." But it was all via compliments, you know? It's like, "Nice shot, buddy." I'm like, "Thanks. Yeah, all right, that's cool." And then, we were a little nervous because they outnumbered us. But soon enough, they paid their tab and left.
Yeah.
And then new people came in who were actually really cool. So it all worked out in the end.
Do you think cooler heads in the group made a decision to be like, "Hey, we got to get out of here"?
No.
Oh, they just rolled on.
I think their women were tired. And they did what the women want.
Tired of their bullshit.
No, these women looked like they were going to put up with these guys' bullshit or guys like them for the rest of their lives. They were appropriately matched. They were appropriately matched. No, I just mean that they're going to live in they're rich white people, and they grew up rich white people, and they're going to live with rich white people forever. Like us. we're a couple of rich white guys. But we don't like rich white guy stuff.
Would you consider billiards a rich white guy thing?
No,
not
at all.
Would you consider owning your own table a rich white guy thing?
It's definitely a moneyed thing, but I would not associate it with whiteness. It's definitely popular among, like, billiards is huge in the Philippines. There's a lot of non-white people who play billiards. It's not like golf.
Yeah.
Golf and like croquet and like
stuff that you need acreage for.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a rich man with a 12-acre pool table that you can only play with bulldozers.
I mean, dude, Jeep billiards is interesting. Yeah. So that was my little incident there. I hope it was entertaining. I hope it was interesting.
I had a similar incident this weekend.
What happened?
Well, instead of at a pool table, I was puking.
Yeah.
And then this rude guy, my diarrhea, was like, "Nice puke, man."
Your diarrhea was mean mugging you.
My diarrhea was really problematic. It was really douchey.
What do you think about ball caps indoors?
Ball caps indoors? I think it changes if you're sitting down, is my thought on it.
Wow. If you're sitting, even at a bar, if you're sitting down to dinner, you should take a ball cap off. Are we on agreement on that? Okay.
If you're at a bar and there is sports going on, I'm like, you know what? If it's like a kind of a regular bar, that's fine. If you're just hanging out,
sitting at a bar is basically standing.
Yeah, that's fair.
That
that is legally distinct.
What I just said doesn't make any sense, but we all feel it to be right.
If it's a high top chair, you're standing.
Yes, but if you're sitting down for a meal, definitely take it off. I also think there's a difference between like a classic ball cap with a curved brim that actually looks like what baseball players wear versus a stylish flat brim type of look.
You know what it is? If you're at a bar, you're probably at eye level of the bartender. But if you're at like a high top table, you're at eye level of the server. But if you're on on like a regular sized table, if you're wearing a ball cap and the server looks down, they're not gonna see you. And that seems rude to me to like make them kind of have to like stoop around your brim
to bark orders at somebody who can't see your eyes. That is rude.
You look up and they just can't see your face. That seems like it's rude to me.
By the way, this concussion guy, he also I overheard. I think the guy said this for my benefit, but his friend walked over to the bouncer and said, "Oh yeah, he got a concussion doing jujitsu." That guy does jujitsu. I think he wanted me to hear that. But his friend was smiling, but like in a drunk kind of, almost an instigator smile.
Oh, he's like, oh.
He's like, oh, he just had a concussion. like just fuck with this guy. He's mean.
I'm sure to the, do you say that to the bartender or the bouncer? I'm sure to either of them, to them that means, oh, we need to make sure that this guy gets out of this bar very quickly.
Yes, it was to the bouncer, so he might have been explaining why this guy's acting like drunk, kind of. Yeah. But he wasn't, this guy, I will give him credit, he's an experienced drunk.
Yeah.
This was not his first time out drinking. You know what I mean? Yeah. He knew how to behave himself. He just kind of liked getting in my face a bit.
Oh, yeah. No, he was trying to show off in front of like some girls.
Not even because the girls with him did not even notice this was happening. It was for my benefit. Oh yeah.
Well, I to him, I don't even know if he cares if the girls are looking, but to him, he's like, I'm in this group and I'm pointing you down.
Maybe.
Worry.
Maybe. It didn't work, though. It didn't work.
I didn't like your take on korfball.
Yeah, that's true. He did also say after that show, I was like, nice shot, man, but the Bantam Boy sucks.
He did have an unlicensed T-shirt
that's
of his own making.
Yeah, well, I actually have to send him a cease and desist. Now that you mention it.
Yeah.
We're now about 12 minutes in, so it might be a good time to introduce the sport we're covering today.
Yes, race walking.
That's right. Thanks for reminding me. Race walking we're talking about.
Oh, I didn't know if you were pausing to to let me announce it.
No, I'm glad you did.
There was a beat there, and I was like, oh, he's doing like the sport, whoop, like an alley-oop.
That is better, but really, I was like, wait, what was it again?
So it was more like you threw the ball towards the basket, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I was passing or shooting.
No, but that's better. Let's do more alley-oops.
Yeah.
Let's do more things like if I end a sentence,
I will finish.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Right? I like that we can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can start and finish each other's
poops.
Where were you this weekend? I could have used you to finish some of those.
I was finishing from home.
Finishing them from
What, you think I wasn't having diarrhea? I wasn't having sick level diarrhea. I was having normal day-to-day diarrhea, but it was still going down.
You shouldn't be having day-to-day diarrhea. You're way healthier than I am.
What are you talking about? You're supposed to have diarrhea every day. That's why. What do you call a book that you write in every day?
I call it a journal.
No, it's your diarrhea.
Stuck the landing, man. You really... You could have just said, that's your diarrhea. Ah.
No.
Not diarrhea. Just like, oh, I'm making it work. You really tried to pronounce the H, and I don't know why. So anyway, we've been finishing each other's dumps this weekend. Yeah, it was great. We have a glowing crystal that when we're in the bathroom we hold on to it, and then the crystal in the other person's apartment glows.
This is Pacific Rim level pooping.
You still haven't seen the movie.
No, but it was a correct reference.
I mean, it is a correct reference, but that's not what happens.
It's not a movie about buttholes?
No.
Then
Well,
why is it called Pacific Rim?
Because it takes place in the Pacific.
Yeah. Is it people licking each other's buttholes on the Pacific Ocean?
No, the food's too spicy.
That's true. Polynesian food. Actually, is Polynesian food spicy?
Some of it. It's a very wide area.
That's true. That's true. It
I guess
is.
then there's Polynesia and Micronesia and Macronesia.
Well, Micronesia is just a Western name for part of like the Polynesian Islands. It's a country, but it's just part of Polynesia.
Right.
So is Hawaii and New Zealand and a couple other countries, Tonga.
I thought they were geographically kind of just like vague general groupings.
Polynesia is. Micronesia is a specific country. Polynesia just references all those islands that go like from Australia to Hawaii. And I think Easter Island is also considered part of Polynesia. Just anywhere that the Austronesian people migrated to, because people migrated there way before sophisticated ocean-going technology. They used double outrigger canoes, kind of like the boat in Moana, and they could cover long distances of ocean like that.
Oh yeah, and they would build sort of compass maps on the beach out of stones that would point to the nearest islands where they came from.
Really?
Oh yeah,
that's very interesting.
It's a very cool and insane process that these people just going at it and making settlements across wide swaths of ocean.
Yeah, and also they had a crystal that if you rubbed it, a friend of yours back home would finish your poops.
So what do you mean? Should we get into how we're finishing each other's poops?
No.
Does the first half of the log come out and then...
No. Don't.
I need a little more oomph on this. It's like Dragon Ball when everyone puts their hands up and gives Goku the energy to pinch off a loaf. Come on, guys! Tyler's really trying to squeeze this bad boy.
I tell you, I took one that looked like Vegeta. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing was beefy. All right, enough poop talk. This is let's talk about race walking. Do you think anybody has pooped themselves during race walking?
I think I've race walked while trying to take a poop. I think that's how the sport got invented.
So, actually, let's talk about how the sport got invented because this is horrible. So, I learned something about race walking. So, race walking is it's an athletics event. I don't think it's considered part of track and field.
No, it does take place sometimes on a track.
Yes, it can be on a track or on a road, and it's just a race where you're limited and you can't do a full-on stride. You're limited in how you can move.
Yes, you have to have 1 foot on the ground at all times.
Almost. You have to have 2 feet on the ground as visible to the naked eye. So if you watch the slow-mo of race walking, they are picking up their back. They do have a little bit of airborne time, but it happens so fast that the naked eye wouldn't be able to see it. And then also your front leg has to be straight as you step over it. So basically, if your leg is on the ground, it's got to be straight. You can only bend the knee that's stepping over, and that way you're kind of walking, but you're doing it super fast.
Which I think is kind of a cop-out. They should make you have both legs fully straight the whole time.
Honestly, I've walked like that. It would be a problem because to walk like that, you kind of have to
swing your leg around.
You have to swing out.
And I think that would be way more fun to watch coming down coming down Broadway when the New York City Olympics happened, and they're swinging their legs around like a.
Is this our first Olympic sport we've covered? Let me think.
Olympic sports.
We covered darts. We covered sumo, bandy. That's not an Olympic sport. It's in the World Games.
A lot of these have been demonstration Olympic sports.
Yeah.
But anyone can get that. We can get that.
Yeah.
That's our next goal in the podcast.
Yeah. The podcast, by the way, is brought to you by Hustle Milk, as always.
Milk. The milk that will turn your regular walking into race walking.
Hustle Milk. Now with only 800 milligrams of caffeine, orders of the FDA.
Hustle Milk, the energy you need to finish your friend's poops.
Honestly, hustle milk is definitely a stimulator.
Come on, you got to do it, man. I need you on this one.
That's how we finish those poops. We just split a bottle of hustle milk, and then we take turns in the bathroom.
That's the commercial. It cuts from pouring the bottle to flushing toilet.
No. We tried to get away from poop, but we only made it a little bit. We only made it a little distance away from poop. So one of the things, but I will say the whole thing. So the way it works is there's judges.
Yeah.
And the judges can ding you for a violation. 3 violations, you're disqualified. So there is a lot of wiggle room and subjectivity and kind of it's not really all that straightforward how race walking works.
Yeah. It's almost kind of you know it when you see it.
Yeah. But I do know a lot of people in comment sections are very mad about it.
I saw op-eds from newspapers that are like, why are we still doing this sport? We can tell that their feet are both leaving the ground.
Yeah.
We have the technology to know that it's not a real thing that's happening.
Yeah. It would probably be better if they had like sensors on their shoes or something like that. I did see an AMA with an Australian race walker named, God, my handwriting is so bad, Ryden Crowley. He's not my player profile because it was an AMA of a race walker, and let me tell you, this AMA was barely a stroll in the park. It was very boring. This guy has the personality of a race walker for sure. Just really bland stuff, but it was interesting to learn about, and people asked about the nature of the sport, and they asked about his training regimen. He does actually jog in his personal life.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure you need that just to counterbalance how much walking you're doing, so your body can be okay.
Just so you don't lose your mind from the most boring activity. It's literally walking.
The most common injury in race walking is actually a Franz Kafka nightmare. Is you shrivel into a screaming ball of putty from the madness of knowing nothing but walking fast.
The most common injury in race walking is you just got bored and quit. You just decided, wait a minute, I could do anything else with my life. This might be my least favorite sport we've profiled so far.
Really?
Yeah, because sumo was awesome. Darts and bandy are fun. Cup stacking was pretty sweet. I would probably rather get to cup stacking than this. And I know I'm missing one in there. Korfball. Korfball had gender-based defense. That's awesome. Race walking doesn't have gender-based defense.
You know what? Can we jump into rules immediately that we'd like to add? Change up the sport?
First segment, and then we'll get into history. But first we're going to do a segment. This is called variants. What's your variant of the sport?
All right. First of all, we're adding in gender-based defense. No, what I'm thinking is leg braces, so your legs have to stay straight. No one can bend their legs at any point in the race.
So you're doing the hip swing and your legs going. You know what? I recently had a leg injury, and for a while I couldn't bend my knee, and I was walking like that on one side.
Yeah.
And let me tell you,
training.
Let me tell you, I was race walking. I was going fast as some of these pricks. I'll tell you.
Oh yeah, you want to do a sports science clip? We'll put you up against a video version of them.
So that's a good variant. Is it my turn? Am I doing a variant of the sport?
Add a variant.
All right, my variant of the sport is I actually think race walking is too fast. So my variant of the sport is I call it race sitting. And it's not wheelchairs. It's not wheelchair racing is actually fun. Wheelchair racing is doper than foot racing.
Yeah.
It's so fast. But that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about you just sit in a chair. You sit in a chair and read a newspaper. And the thing is, while like a race walking race can be like, you know, as long as maybe 20 minutes for even just a 5K. What we do with the sitting is you sit in a chair for 8 minutes, and then a judge picks a winner, you know, like gymnastics.
Yeah.
And then everybody can go home because it sucks. That would still be better than race walking, I think.
Yeah. Another thing to add is at the end of every race is a job interview that you are slightly late for.
Oh no.
So because that's the time when you do race walking, because you don't want to be running through like an office building when you're on the way to an interview, but you need to get there in time. So you have to finish, and it's sort of like a biathlon where you do have to do the job interview, and that's part.
You have to get the job and get a good time.
Yeah, and get a good time.
You know what's funny? In the AMA, one of the questions was like, do you ever use your speed walking powers in your daily life when you're running late? And the guy was like, sometimes when I need to get somewhere on time, I harness my ability. It was so lame. It was unbelievable.
I would like it more if they were not allowed to sweat.
You can't break a sweat.
If
That's
that was like, you don't break a sweat while walking, you cannot break a sweat.
Does that mean? But that means that it would be advantageous to be naked, right?
You're finding out the real purpose behind it.
Honestly, dude. Oh no! I got one. I got a variant.
Oh no!
I call it arena race walking.
Yeah, where they're walking around in a tiny padded arena.
It's literally. It's not an indoor track. It's got to be smaller than that. It's like it's the size of like the paint of a basketball court, and they're just going around that in circles. And there's a wall, and you're allowed to brush up against the wall, and that's not ruled out of bounds.
This one's called slam race walking. It's like slam ball. It's on trampolines.
Dude, race walking, but it's like with roller derby rules where you can like elbow each other and slam into each other. But you can still only walk.
You can still only walk.
So you can't get any momentum.
Imagine some guy terrified because he's slightly slower than the ginormous man who's about to destroy him, but he can't run away. Just walking after him with a club.
All right, I want to get into a little bit of the history because I found this really kind of fucking crazy. Yeah. Did you read this at all?
I read some of the history. What did you have that was crazy? I just it was a lot of aristocrats who are like, I bet I could walk further than you.
No,
and they called it pedestrianism.
It was called pedestrianism, but no, it wasn't Victorian nobles betting on how fast they could walk. It was that they had footmen. So when you would be in a horse-drawn carriage, there would be a guy walking with the carriage. That's called a footman. And Victorian nobles would bet against each other whose footman was a faster walker. And so while they were in horses, in horse-drawn carriages, just chilling, they'd be placing wagers on their footmen, which I found really pretty despicable.
I think that's honestly awesome. I think FanDuel would have gotten way in on this.
FanDuel should get into race walking if they're not already.
No, they should go back in time. Introduce gambling technology
on a horse-drawn
carriages.
And I did read that it became popular in the USA for a bit, and there would be races, and at the races there was a brass band.
Ooh.
And vendors selling pickled eggs and roasted chestnuts.
I mean, that's just what you eat at a race.
Pickled eggs?
Dude, when I go to the Indy 500 or I go to Daytona 500 or I go to Bristol 400, or I'm just naming every race I can think
Bristol,
of.
Virginia.
Yeah.
I've been there. Now,
but I'm eating pickled eggs and roasted chestnuts.
Have you ever actually eaten pickled eggs?
Oh yeah, dude. What you gotta do is you open up the pickled egg and you slide the roasted chestnut right in there.
Oh God.
You close it together.
I like chestnuts, but I don't know what's up with pickled eggs.
Oh, dude, they're these eggs that are pickled.
I can't tell. Have you eaten one of these things for real?
Totally, man.
You fucking asshole.
I got a whole keg of them. You ever go to the grocery store and get one of those party kegs of the pickled eggs, and then you do a keg stand with the eggs
with the vinegar?
Yeah, no, it powers the eggs up into
just eggs right down your gullet.
Boom, boom. And if you hit it just right, it slides all the way through.
So here's a race walking question. Do you think you would really literally be able to swallow a whole egg
while walking? And that's the new rule.
No.
You have to eat an entire pickled egg.
This is not while you're walking. You're a spectator at a 1907 race walking exhibition in Manhattan, and you're trying to swallow an egg whole. Do you think
Swallow an egg whole.
Do you think you could do it?
Oh yeah, yeah. I of course we're all wearing like 60-pound woolen suits. It's 100 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I got done with my job affixing type to a banker's wallet, which is a middle class job in this time period. I paid my 25 cents, 5 times more than it cost to go to a Yankees game because I want to see the Walkers, and I pay the extra 10 cents to get the big pickled egg.
Yeah.
They call them Goliath eggs.
You're painting quite a picture, but you still haven't answered the question. Can you swallow it whole?
Well, first of all, you want to savor these eggs. I got one in each cheek.
Okay.
Which leaves just enough room for a third
Third
to go right down
the middle.
So I always have the taste of 2 pickled eggs while having the delightful sensation of a whole pickled egg.
I think I could swallow a whole egg, but it would hurt. It would hurt on the whole way down.
Yeah, no, it would not be good. You would choke.
Although maybe a hard-boiled egg, maybe once it got into my esophagus, the pressure would just like crunch it, and then it would be done.
Are you doing thick round side first or thin side first?
Oh, I would probably go pointy side first.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That way, if it doesn't work, it'll fire back out. And now it's like an attack, which is my other new rule for race walking: is you're allowed as many pickled eggs as you want, and you can load them up.
And then spit them at each other. It's like a Mario Kart kind of
yeah,
race
it's
walking.
exactly like Mario.
Mario Kart race walk. Mario race walking would be sick. Everybody holds forward. They're barely moving, and you can pick up a shell and then just kind of throw it at the guy.
Wah! Let's go.
Lethargic Mario.
Seasonal affective disorder Mario. It's my vitamin D light.
I'm gonna stay home.
Oh, it's windy out there.
I'm gonna sit this one out, guys. You have a good time without me. I'm Mario.
Oh,
That's the whole sentence.
it's Grey's Anatomy has a new season. I'll just do that.
Grey's Anatomy. Now there's a reference. All right, we talked about the history of it. We talked about some variants. You want to do a player profile?
Yeah. I got 2 because they're both.
Let's see if we did the same one. I think we might have.
All right. Did you do Korzeniowski?
I
from
didn't.
Poland?
I did not. Polish, huh?
Yes.
I didn't see a lot of Poles in this sport.
He is at least tied for the most gold medals of any individual Polish man.
Really?
4 gold medals in race walking.
All race walking. That's got to be
different Olympics.
That's got to be the same event 4 times.
Oh yeah.
That's because at the Olympics the race walking has the 20K and the 50K.
Yeah.
And more on that later, but first let me hear this story.
Yeah, this was early 90s. He started getting into it, moved to France because apparently Poland's race walking facilities were not up to snuff.
No.
France, obviously,
What
highest caliber race walking.
What years were this?
1990.
So this is like post-Soviet Poland.
They were a fresh nation.
Yeah, so you can't race walk on concrete. You need a good... You need some grass. You need some blue skies.
That might have actually given him a benefit because he walked so long on these terrible Soviet programs that he just developed these great walking skills.
Did he walk from Poland to France?
Yeah, and he did it in 3 hours. He crushed the TGV train. It was insane. And then he tried running back 20 days.
Well, because you're going backwards. That's
Yeah.
Because he's Polish. So that's what he thought you had to do.
I mean, it was inspiring. They're a brand new nation. He's like their first major Olympic star as an independent nation post the Soviet Union.
Now, a Polish man is getting good at race walking.
Yeah.
Did he think he was running?
You know what? I think I see where you're going with this, and I'm going to say yes. I think he thinks he was doing the 100-yard dash.
Yeah.
And he just kept going.
Yeah, and so
But
for
now-
Olympics, how old was he at the last one?
I believe 32-ish, 36, one of those
Okay.
ages.
Wow. Do you
I mean,
suspect?
it'd be crazy if he was 20.
Do you suspect early doping
Early dope? I don't think there was any doping.
in the 90s?
Not for this guy. Not for race walking.
Race walking is a doping heavy sport.
Is it?
I'm going to get into that in my player profile. But you said you had a second one?
Second one is just a quick one recently, and it's really just Jose Luis Doctor.
Oh, Doc. Is that his last name? or
His
first
last name is Doctor. It's either his last name or his first name. I can't figure it out between all the articles because some of them are like saying Doctor, and it's either just saying his first name or just saying his last name like a news article would.
Right.
He is not a doctor.
You checked.
I checked.
Is he good?
He's pretty. He was the best in Central and Latin America. He got DQ'd this Olympics for infractions, which seems to be something that can just happen to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the sport is not... You probably want to get 2 infractions.
Yeah.
That's or you probably want to get at least 1. If you got 0 infractions, you probably weren't trying hard enough.
Yeah. But I was reading his story. He's like, yeah, I graduated college with a degree in business, and I couldn't find a job. And instead of, I don't know, getting an internship, he became a pro-level race walker.
For what country did you say?
Mexico.
Mexico's good at race walking.
Oh, yeah.
They're one of the stronger countries. It's like Russia and Mexico
Yeah.
are kind of the two. I actually wrote this down.
And Poland.
America sucks at it, but the ones who are good at it, it's I did write this down. Hold on. This is good content. Yeah, Russia, China, Italy, and Mexico are 4 countries that are really good at it. The USA sucks. We've only had one guy get bronze medals in race walking. He got 2 bronzes.
Yeah, but that's because of our sedentary car culture.
Yes, we're great.
I'm not lying. I think that's probably why is that there's so much of America is bad to walk in.
That's interesting. But I think it's just because in America, I think it's more of a capitalist thing. Because it's like if you're gonna go fast, you want to run. Like we have good runners.
That is true.
Bo Jackson,
Yeah.
Jenner. We've had champion runners.
Those are the 2.
The 2 that I know.
You're not going to go Maya Rudolph?
The actress?
No. Maybe. Am I confusing?
I believe Maya Rudolph is on SNL.
Is the SNL actress? Yeah. Famous for the 100-meter dash.
Yeah.
I thought that was a runner. I could be entirely wrong.
Yeah, but like I don't even know of a single sport where the USA does not have a strong showing in the women's division until we found race walking.
I will still say that it is the car culture because
It's a good bit.
people just aren't walking.
It's a good bit. A lot of this country is really not walkable, which is really a huge bummer.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I like walking. You like walking?
I love walking.
That's a good segment for this episode.
Yeah. Are we walking?
What's a good walk you've been on lately?
I had the best walk this morning because it was the first walk I've taken since being sick.
Yes, you were just happy to be not having diarrhea constantly.
Oh
on the
my
walk.
God, yeah.
Meanwhile, I was at home just finishing the job. For
Yeah,
you.
or he did real blue collar work. He clocked in. We've been taking shifts. We both caught the same stomach bug, but instead of each being sick for 2 days, we split it
We
between
split the
ourselves.
difference. We made a deal with the bug. We said, "Hey, what's up, bug?"
Would you do that? Would you like sign an agreement to be like, all right, I could either be sick for 12 hours straight, or me and my buddy could do shifts where I'm going to be sick for 6 hours, not sick for 6 hours, sick for 6 hours, not sick for 6
Oh, so I still got to do 12 hours total?
Yeah.
Oh, so
But
in that
instead
case,
you're doing off and on.
In that case, even selfishly, I would say no.
You'd say
I
no.
want to get it done, get to the other side of it as quick as possible. But if it was like, hey, I can be sick for 12 hours or split it half and half with my buddy,
Oh.
I'm realistically, I'm going to say no
And
because I'm
then-
like, I would not wish stomach bug on my worst enemy. It is horrible.
Dude, I'd poop for you.
Yeah, you take the bullet for me?
Yeah.
No, man, I want you to live your life. I don't want to infect you.
Well, you don't. It's not infect. You just do the swap.
Are you telling me you want me to
No.
drop a deuce in
No,
your
it's
house?
done. It's done. You're
Okay.
too late.
All right, because right now you're like encouraging me to poop. It's
I'm not. No. I'm encouraging you to consider your options.
You know, this is the second episode in a row we've gotten into scat stuff.
Well, this is the second episode in a row that I've been post losing 10 pounds over the course of
That's
2
true.
days.
You got scat on the brain, dude.
I no, it's out of my body.
Oh,
I'm missing it at this point. No, it's great. I like race walking a lot. Do you have a profile that you would like to
yes.
get into?
Okay, so I found a Russian. Well, okay. Her name is
I found one.
her name is Elena Lashmanova.
Okay.
But here's the thing: she's from a part of Russia I've never heard of, called Mordovia, and it's not clear if she is ethnically Slavic or Mordvin. A lot of the population of Mordovia, which is it's a province kind of southeast of Moscow, and they're ethnic. They have like another language there, the Mordvin language. Obviously, they speak Russian. I mean, everybody in the cast, like everybody in huge parts of the world, speaks their native language and Russian.
Yeah.
And Mordvin has their own language, and it's not a Slavic language.
Interesting.
So it's not. I don't know if she's Slavic or not.
Is it Urgic?
Yeah, I think so. Yes. Nice. I think.
Thank you.
I think. So his coach is this guy Victor Shagan.
Yeah.
And he is now banned because he's had so many athletes involved in doping scandals.
Jeez.
But he like runs this school called it's called like the Mordovia Racewalking Academy. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
it's like a racewalking gym, and
it's a building surrounded by a lot of very pleasant parks.
I'm sure Mordovia is just a hellhole. Like I'm sure it probably
It's a gym that has a Taco Bell on one side, and then 50 kilometers away is a bathroom.
realistically it's probably that's pretty fun. You got scat on the brain, dude. It's probably a gym. From the outside, it probably looks like a literal cinder block that was dropped from another planet. It is. Anyways, she was born in 92. She actually won a bronze medal at the 2012 Olympics, but then tested positive for doping in 2014.
Oh, man.
And as of 2022, her medal was officially stripped. So I got into this because I Googled, like, has there ever been a doping scandal in race walking? And apparently, huge doping scandal in race walking. I don't think it's because race walking itself benefits so much from doping. I think it's because it's such a Russia-dominated thing, and Russia had an enormous doping scandal in the 2010s.
Yeah. That it pretty much covered every sport.
Yes, and she was doping with GW1516, also known as Cardarine.
Also known as hustle milk.
Dude, we should put Cardarine in hustle milk. That's sick,
It wasn't already in there? What are we doing? It wasn't packed full of cardarine? The blue goo?
Well, so far, hustle milk has caffeine, protein, Cardarine, Cialis, Advil. It has just a touch of arsenic, not enough to kill you, just enough to make you feel funky.
It has 30 Flintstones vitamins.
And I don't mean the same vitamins as Flintstones. I mean, we literally crush up the Flintstones vitamins.
And it has 12 Brickleberry vitamins.
Okay,
which is, if you remember, Tosh.0's cartoon that immediately went off air.
Oh, the one about the summer camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that went for a season, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, it went for a season.
Yeah, that's okay. A lot of shows do that. I think it was pretty funny, but I remember that summer camp cartoon. Now, here's a question for you. Flintstones vitamins.
Okay.
You eating chalky or gummy?
Chalky. That's what you do with the Flintstones vitamins. Do they have gummy Flintstones?
There are gummy vitamins.
I know there's gummy vitamins, but if it's Flintstones, it's got to be chalky because that's where the bedrock comes in.
Yes, Flintstones had to be chalky. And on that note, what's your strategy for race walking? How are you going to win?
How am I gonna win? I'm gonna get really long legs.
You're gonna get long legs,
dude. I'm gonna do that surgery that guy did to become 6 foot tall, but instead I'm gonna have my arms removed. I had those grafted onto my legs. I'm gonna be so tall. There's gonna be no infractions, but my legs are going to be so long that every stride I do is worth 10 of these other posers' strides.
So you're gonna be like Uncle Sam on stilts above any.
It's gonna look like
else.
it's gonna look like Slender Man is winning the Olympics every time. They're gonna take a picture of the podium, and it's gonna be two sad guys and legs going all the way to the top of the photo.
Tyler, don't make me say this. Don't make me do it, okay?
Yeah, do it, man.
I don't think you look like Slender Man. Come on. Come on. Come on. Give me a break. That you said you made me say it. You literally made me say it. Look, even with the stomach bug or the food poisoning, you're not quite at Slender Man yet. You are proposing a challenge on this podcast where we eat 24 sandwiches in 24 hours, and you want to be Slender Man.
So I wanted to be Slender Man. I didn't know I was standing next to Mean Man, the other cryptid from the forest, who instead of kidnapping children, just is really mean to them.
That's just a guy. That's just a real guy.
A guy.
I knew a guy like that. You never knew weirdos who walked around the woods.
No, we weren't allowed there. My parents kept saying there's too many weirdos.
No, we went into the weirdos to like smoke. We went into the woods to like.
We went into the weirdos.
We went to the woods to like smoke and drink and stuff because we weren't allowed to, and there would just be like people on walks who most of the time were just parents who were like, "Be good, kids," but every now and then it would just be like there was this blind guy who walked around the woods and he would tell these crazy stories about. Like he got arrested and he was on and he was probably involved in some drugs, but he was really, really good at walking through the woods while blind.
Do you think he might have been a former competitor that went race walk mad?
He probably was a Paralympic race walking champion. Which, by the way, I will say this about race walking. Okay, no. First, I'll get into my strategy.
Yeah.
Okay, my strategy, simple. Simple. I got one word for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Heelys.
Heelys?
Yeah. I'm putting on Heelys. But I'm not putting on full Heelys, just like a little bit so that back foot.
They're not full Heelys. They're always just the heel.
No, but
like a half heel.
It's very subtle. I'm not fully like sliding. I just let the back foot slide just like a little bit. Because, in racing, if you can get like a millimeter on each stride, you're going to be the champion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's my strategy. It's just a little bit of Heelys.
Well, can I pitch another strategy?
Let's hear it.
You get it's 3 infractions and then you're out.
Yes.
So the third one and that's it.
Yes.
So I'm not infracting until like the last stretch, and I just do 2 quick runs.
That
just 2 quick steps.
That probably has been done.
Oh, I'm sure it's a real strategy.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who are like, just get right there and then
just save your infractions for the end and then
just jog.
Then get the most you can. No, just like take like one. Like if you have one infraction left, just take one huge leap and then go back to race walking.
Do a long like they do the 2-step long jump or the 3 jump.
Yeah, the triple jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do a triple jump or a double jump. Like Mario. Wahoo.
I think we got time for one more segment here. All right.
We got variations. What do we?
Oh yeah. Actually, we
on the sport.
We have 2 more segments here. So
yeah,
we already did variants.
Variants?
Arena race walking was
arena
mine.
and slam race walking on the trampolines. That's right. Sorry, I forgot about it.
So do you have any untold stories about a race walker?
His name is Jimmy 8 feet.
Jimmy 8 feet.
Yeah,
right.
and what he did was he was race walking, but he got a lot of puppet feet.
Okay.
So he had like a pair of pants that had like 8 legs, so it always looked like there were some feet on the ground.
And he was allowed to wear these pants in competition because of a famous loophole in the rules.
Yeah, there's no rules against it. Funny enough, there are rules against a dog competing. But
They do have the Airbud rule, but they didn't have.
Yeah,
the
they saw that
Jimmy
movie
8
and
feet.
immediately sprung to action.
By the way, Jimmy 8 feet would 100% sounds like a hitman who would like cut guys' feet off.
Well, that's how he found out he was good at walking, because he needed to get away but still look like he was not running.
Yeah, he was a nonchalant hitman.
He was a real chill guy.
Jimmy 8 feet. So what happened in his career? How far did he go?
Oh, he ended up having cinder blocks tied to each of his 8 feet, thrown into a lake. It was really excessive. They tried to toss one cinder block in, but it just tore one of the puppet legs off. They're like, we're gonna do it all the legs. We don't know which one is real. This guy's like the Hydra. We don't know how he keeps getting these false puppet legs.
Well, rest in peace, Jimmy 8 feet.
Yeah, 2 years ago today.
That's recent. Wow.
Oh yeah, no, it was bad.
Okay.
I was at the funeral.
Weird looking casket.
Oh yeah. I've never seen a casket with so many chambers.
Wait, I thought he got drowned with cinder blocks.
Well, they dredge them up. It just took a really big crane because there were so many cinder blocks. I was weird that they didn't cut the cinder blocks off when they put them in the casket.
No, you got to give him an open casket.
An open casket, but they kept the cinder blocks.
He's been in the water for a week. He's bloated, dead.
Yeah, those poor pallbearers are carrying 8 cinder blocks as well as him.
You had 10 pallbearers.
No, you needed 2 for each leg.
Dude, can you imagine being like a pallbearer for Shaquille O'Neal or something crazy like that?
I don't want to imagine that. That's a very sad day.
I know.
That's going to be a terrible day for the world.
I should have picked somebody who's already dead.
Yeah.
I could think of a big dead
You could have been
guy.
like
I guess
Andre the
Giant is a big dead guy.
You had to be like, hey, can you imagine when Shaq has one too many Papa John's pizzas?
I'm sorry, Shaq. If you're listening, which you're not, I like you. I don't want you to be dead. But your pallbearers are going to be having a bad day. For sure. Don't let Kevin Hart be your pallbearer. That's for damn sure.
Was it like an ad?
No, he has a pallbearer bit in there. Okay. I'm gonna tell you an untold story from Racewalking.
Yeah.
It's a guy, his name was Rip Van Tinkle. Van Tinkle, the race walker. And it was weird because he did qualify, but nobody really like knew where he lived, or he was kind of mysterious.
Yeah.
But he was allowed to officially compete in the state of New York. They actually named the bridge after him in the Catskills, the Rip Van Tinkle Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel very proud of this.
So, there is a Rip Van Winkle
I know.
Bridge.
I'm not saying there's not a Rip Van Winkle Bridge.
Okay. But no, this is Rip Van Tinkle, different guy.
Oh, a different bridge, of course.
Different bridge.
Yeah. This one goes from Buffalo to New York City.
Yeah.
It's long.
This guy was a long distance race walker. He would walk marathons.
Yeah.
He would do all sorts of stuff to train. But he made a fatal mistake one day. He was getting ready for the 10K, and he'd been training so much. But right before the race, about half an hour before, he drank a bottle of Hustle Milk. And that Hustle Milk got him wired up. And now he's racing. And then at about 7K, he started urinating on himself, which wasn't actually an infraction, but he was allowed to finish, and everybody else was so grossed out that they didn't even finish the race. They just got disgusted and left in protest. They didn't like this guy anyway. So he was the only person who finished, got awarded first place. But then, because he had urinated everywhere, the judges were able to test that. And Hustle Milk is so potent. There was so many illegal substances in his urine. He was immediately disqualified, banned from race walking forever, and sentenced to 6 months of hard labor in Iowa. So he was disqualified, but because nobody else finished the race, they didn't have anybody else to give the number one spot to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the race was called the No Contest.
It sounds like a folktale. I thought you were going to be like, and he peed so much, it formed the rivers of upstate New York, and that's why we call it the Rip Van Tinkle Bridge. And that's why you're not allowed to go swimming.
That's actually that's a much better version of the story. We might edit it. We might do like a second edition Grimm's Fairy Tales.
We edit it so it's you talking, but it's just my voice coming out right at the end. And then you just cut to me sitting silently. Oh man.
All right.
Did you come across there's a song about race walking?
No, I didn't hear this.
Oh, it was a Scottish band in like the 80s.
Oh,
or
I know
90s.
this one. It goes like these boots were made for walking.
No, the song's like well, I would walk 500 miles. And I would walk 500 more.
You were already doing a bit.
No, I was way ahead.
I was trying to do a bit.
I was
on your
locked
bit.
in. That's why I thought you were gonna go with the Proclaimers.
I thought it was going to be Aerosmith. Walk this way. That's a famous race walking song.
That's your walk this way.
Was that not good?
Walk this way.
No, mine's better. Walk this way. Talk this way.
What was that last part?
That's how I sing, dude.
You gonna walk this way? You're gonna walk that way. Oh, Johnny Carson, folks.
All right. Well, I think that's just. Is there anything else before we close here that you want to say about race walking before we name our teams?
No. It's a good sport. Improve pedestrian access in your town. Just in
race
general.
walking sucks. It's the lamest form of racing. I would literally, I legitimately, without exaggeration, without any sort of joke here, I enjoy watching marble racing more than I enjoy watching race walking.
Well, I mean, you're comparing art to sport.
That is true, but I stand by what I said.
Oh, of course.
Race walking stinks. It's the first sport that we've covered so far where I would not go to a game. If there was like a game nearby, I would be like, nah, I'd rather stay home.
I don't know. But I feel like that. Oh, it would depend if actually, yeah. I mean, I would go to like a charity walk.
That's not what I. But no, you're not gonna go watch. I would give money and stay home.
I think every charity walk should be at minimum 20 to 50K.
Dude, and then there's a judge there handing out infractions, and if you get ejected, all your donations get refunded to the donors.
They get funded to the opposite cause.
yeah.
If you're doing it for JDRF, they get funded directly to Reese's.
It's JDR diabetes.
Juvenile Diabetes Research Fund.
Oh, nice. Diabetes versus the candy companies. That's a nice safe one. I only went to horrible places.
Oh God.
When you said the opposite of a charity, I'm like, well, you can give the money to UNICEF, which helps children, or
you ever go to one of those reverse blood drives where you show up and they just give you a bunch of blood?
Or reverse blood looting. You and a bunch of guys break into a hospital and steal all the blood, siphon some off from some dying patients.
I need the human juice.
Oh, God. No, I've never been with a group of rogue vampire terrorists.
We're not drinking it.
You called it juice.
You don't always drink juice. Sometimes you use it to season.
But you know what you do drink?
Yeah.
Hustle milk. Everybody pick up yours today. What's your race walking team's name?
My race walking team name is the hyperextended ACLs.
Is that a common race walking injury?
It seems like the only injury that could lead to a race walking career.
Yeah, you fucked up your joints, and now it's like, well, I guess this is how I race now.
Ooh, the John Cleese's
from Monty Python.
Yeah, for the
silly
Ministry of
walks.
Silly walks.
Dude, that would have been a great variant to the sport.
Silly walk.
If it's silly race walking,
and the judges had to determine if you were walking silly enough.
You would get scored on the silliness of your walk, and on the and on like how you placed your time trial.
Yeah,
that's fun. See, now we're talking.
Now we're walking.
My team name would be the New York State Stay the Fuck Homes. This sport sucks. That would be my team name. Is the don't watch this. Don't put this on TV. Don't gamble on it. This sucks. Race walking sucks. It should be taken out of the Olympics and replaced with just another regular foot race.
Tough team to put on a hat. Lot of letters.
Yeah.
Really tiny font.
Yeah, everything I just said was part of the team name. By
Yeah,
the way.
it's really just New York State. Stay home. Don't watch this. Fuck. Christ.
And by the way,
Sold at your nearest lids.
by the way, that's our team name. We do still train and field the team.
Oh, yeah, you're top 3 in the world.
Yeah.
You're really good at it.
We're pretty good.
You created this team as a joke, and then you, partway through the process, got really into it.
Yeah.
And now it's too late to
No,
change the
no,
trademark.
I still hate it, but we are a team. We are going to do our job. We do discourage anybody from giving a shit, though.
You're trying to be so good, no one else does it. It just discourages everyone.
So, in conclusion, I'm Uri Shatil.
I'm Tyler Dernier.
We're the Bantam Boys. Like it, 5 stars. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, and wherever better podcasts are held.